decided to join for the next video in the Mega Man 2 installment. In the interest of continuing a nice L shape in the bottom left corner, let's go take out Crash Man. No, not really. Again, this is being done in the order I was attempting the perfect round of stages, and of the ones remaining, I, at the time at least, thought Crash would be the easiest of the bunch. Once more, some really awesome music, and some really clumsy LPing. I guess no accidental perfect run for me. Dealing with these tellies in close quarters can be a little awkward. There's very little room to work with, and of course if you're a long way from the ladder you need to climb when you take them out. Chances are they could respawn and block your path. So the first few screens can be tricky. Next up we have a screen of Mets which pop up and fire 3 pellet shots, horizontally, diagonally up and diagonally down in the direction they're facing. They'll only pop up when you're sufficiently close to them, so be careful not to get caught off guard when they do shoot at you. 3 screens for this revolving platform to deal with now. There are endlessly spawning tellies to worry about too, although there will only be ever a maximum of 3 on screen at any one time. The first screen's easy, the platform doesn't take too long to reach the top in order for you to grab the ladder. The second screen's also pretty easy. The track the platform travels on is slightly longer, but barely so. I never find that the tellies seem to be in the way at all on this screen, especially if you take one out as soon as you get the chance, because the timing of when they respawn in the room seems to be quite kind. And the third screen, to be honest, is also pretty easy. Yes, the platform track is more convoluted this time around, but again, if you take out the tellies when you have the opportunity, the timing just seems to work out fine. Remember that if you do find yourself in a tight squeeze and you try to do no damage, you can always drop down off the platform and try again. It's not like you fall in a pit or spikes or anything. And if you can't be bothered waiting around for the platform in the first instance, if you have item number 1, you can more or less skip all 3 of those platform track screens. But that'd be cheating, wouldn't it? Blocky here, as in Metal Stage, on difficult mode anyway, needs 2 bits to be defeated, and you want to try to position yourself so that you're stationed in between where the blocks break apart. Once you get an idea of how far away you need to be from him in order to do so, he's not that much of a threat. A long ladder climbing section for no real reason that I can think of, but there is a very awkwardly placed Met at the top here, and I think I do a rather nice job of taking him out rather quickly here, if I do so myself. Remember that in order to be able to attack him, you need to base him out, and without solid ground to do that on, you're consigned to making a few intricate jumps here. Now this section can be a complete pain in the arse. To clear with the use of no weapons and no utility item, you need to behave very specifically. You may have to spend a bit of time scrolling on and off screens to get things set up the way you need. I'm going to mess up a whole bunch of times here, so enjoy the failures and seeing what an idiot I make of myself. First time I pressed the wrong button, and shot when I should have jumped. Second time the pivot flew in from the left hand side of the screen, making it impossible to have made it up without taking damage. What I should have done was go back down the ladder off the screen, then go back up and hope that the pivot flew in from the right hand side. Now although it's possible to jump from the left hand ladder to the right hand ladder without falling off the bottom of the screen normally, you need to be pretty much bang on perfect to pull it off. I didn't feel like buggering around until I eventually got it. That pause trick actually extends the distance of Mega Man's jump, which means I can grapple the second ladder much more easily. It's really handy. And here I am getting hit again. Probably should have fallen off screen, reset things and tried again, but for whatever reason, by this point in time I just couldn't be bothered. Yeah, you die, you bastard. And here I was rather naughty. I'd obviously got hit a lot, 4 times I think so far in this stage already, but I just thought, screw it, I'll get this E-Tank and use a utility item to get back up. I am of course supposed to be trying to show off these stages in the Let's Play parts the same way as I would attempt the perfect runs, so yeah, my bad. And I also therefore get this very undeserved 1-up 2. Wait out the prop tops. There'll usually be a time when 2 aren't on screen at the same time, so use that opportunity to make your initial move. After that, remember that they'll try to land wherever you were positioned when they started to jump at you. And we've made it to Crash Man. Buster only, this is a rather boring fight because it goes on for ages. Crash Man will do anything other than walk from side to side unless you shoot at him. Once you do, he'll jump high in the air and fire a bomb at the floor. But he'll always do so, that after landing from your jump, you'll need to jump and shoot him in order to hit him. It's walk along the floor, the bomb will land harmlessly behind you, provided you walk a safe distance away from the explosion, you'll never get hit. Then, to quote a rather overused phrase in my bot strategies, lather, rinse and repeat. It takes ages because in order not to make the fight really hectic, you need to wait for each bomb to explode before trying to attack him again if you'd like to do this no damage. And unlike Flash Man, where they do 2, Buster Shots only do 1 damage to Crash Man. So you need to do this 28 times, and it drags on after a while. The fight usually takes at least a minute, and unlike say Metal Man, where a Buster only no damage run also usually takes at least a minute, this is just plain boring. The fight with Metal Man keeps you on your toes, and you need to pay attention during it. The fight with Crash Man, not so much. But finally, he's done. For my troubles, I get the Crash Bomb, a reasonably powerful weapon that destroys breakable walls and is mandatory to beat one particularly buggering annoying boss. It does waste quite quickly though, so be careful to use it economically. That playthrough of the stage was fun. Not. Thankfully, things went a little better for me on a previous occasion. And you immediately see what I mean about dealing with these tellies in close proximity. They can be right buggers. A couple or so outtakes on these first two screens, and I suppose if you're going to mess up, it might as well be right at the beginning. That way you don't feel like you've wasted a whole bunch of time or energy. No problem with the Mets. They're straightforward enough. And all three drop power-ups, by the way, in case you didn't notice. All equally useless on a perfect run attempt. I'm also pleased to report there were no problems either with the platform track screens. I did cut things a little close on the third one, as you'll see in just a moment, but with nothing else really to say at this point, let's just enjoy the music, shall we? A little tighter than I would have liked, but it still didn't get all that claustrophobic. Now coming on to the next screen, unfortunately Blocky here got me a couple of times. I clearly wasn't on top of my game and just had difficulty predicting the spread of the blocks. By now, after appearances in Metal Man stage and Flash Man stage, you'd think I'd have learnt by now where I need to be, but apparently not. And dealing with the Met up there always makes me nervous. And in case you're wondering why not just back off without trying to kill it and wait for it to walk to the right, presumably down the gap, it actually moves quickly enough that you'll catch the edge of the middle platform and remain smack bang in the way. Like I said, irritatingly placed. Now all my remaining failures were on this climbing section, and I guess it's worth spelling out which ladders you need to climb and when. So start off on the left hand ladder, jump with the use of the pause glitch extend jump trick if necessary to the second ladder from the right. You'll need the Pippi to appear from the right hand side of the screen in order to make this bearable. I like to drop off the ladder and jump back on it here to gain a little extra height to make that a little bit extra quicker, as the next Pippi's on its way. Again here, you probably want the Pippi to come in from the right hand side, and at an opportune moment switch to the rightmost ladder. Don't waste time. At the height of when the Pippi appear, I stop the shoot to the right in case the damn thing respawned in from that side and dropped an egg right in the way. But actually, if she'd managed to drop it, it would have been harmless. So wouldn't you know it, she appeared from the left, and thankfully there's still enough time to just continue climbing. Only just enough time though. The crazy cannon there, by the way, will only shoot to the left, so it's absolutely harmless. And this was the first and indeed my only time I reached this point in the stage, so just be careful with the prop tops, they aren't a problem. I said be careful, jeez, that was way too close for comfort. And okay, I literally have nothing else to say about Crash Man, sorry. So feel free to go put on a pot of tea, just enjoy listening to the boss music, or skip ahead if you like. I'll be back for the difficulty analysis. And it's the halfway point for the Robot Master stages of Mega Man 2. And it's the easier half taken down, in case you're wondering. Crash Man stage took me 30 minutes to perfect run it. Not too bad. Would have probably been a lot quicker if I'd known what I was doing a bit more on that Pippi climbing section. A total of just 12 outtakes, and I'm sure very few will be surprised by the fact that there were none on Crash Man. Actually, none of you should be surprised, since I already mentioned that during my perfect run commentary. The two initial screens with the tellies can pose their problems, as I suppose can the rooms with the Mets and the platform sections, but they don't generally pose me any difficulties. Blocky, in all honesty, shouldn't, but clumsiness will strike from time to time. The real issue with this stage is the Pippi climbing section. And although having a strategy for dealing with it helps, it can still get rather hectic at times. I won't go through my strategy again, listen to what I said during the perfect run commentary if you're still interested in that. Crash Man himself is a joke. Jump and shoot him, then walk away from the incoming bomb, get far enough away from the explosion, and repeat ad nauseum. The only danger there is if you fall asleep during the fight. This is likely the last time you hear about me being happy on attempting perfect runs for this game, but there it is all the same. Given the reasonably short time it took and relatively small number of outtakes suffered, I give Crash Man a 2 out of 10. It doesn't really warrant anything higher than this, but the Pippi climbing section makes it impossible for me to rate it any lower. So, that's the quote-unquote easy Robot Master stages down. Tune in next time to find out whether my bubble is going to be well and truly burst. Cheerio.